for today's video. Here is the fully edited tutorial on Spider-Man kissing Kitty Pryde. But before we get started, consider hitting that like button, ringing the bell, and leaving a comment. So let's get to it. So for step number one, I used a blue pencil. This one is mainly used when I want to just have a great underdrawing, a gesture drawing, and not really worry about pencil marks, because I wanted this to be the main focus of using just ink pens. And I didn't necessarily need to be erasing anything after, so this one I kept it very light. I drew Peter Parker and Kitty Pryde very lightly, and as you can see, it is somewhat difficult to see, but we don't have to worry about that because this is just ensuring that we have a great underdrawing, because the inking will be difficult to cover up if we mess up. So it's always great to have a great drawing first before we do anything final with inking. Now for the outlining, I used Prisma Micron pens, and this one specifically was 0.5. This one was a 0.45 millimeter line. I used different lengths or different widths just depending on how thick I want it to be, and normally I will be going over and over to see how thick I want them to be. This one was a great middle one to start off with, so I can know where eventually I might need to add more thicker lines and shadows. But again, I just went through the entire process outlining everything. And again, we don't need to worry about erasing the blue at all. And because I am looking at the reference photo to the left, I'm gonna keep this very comic book style. And after going over it with that inking pen, I went in with a darker one and started going in with all the details in the webbing for Peter Parker's suit that you can see here with the lines on the webs. And this is where I'm going to kind of refine everything and see where those detailed lines go for like the facial features, the cheekbones, the ears, the hair. Same thing with Kitty Pryde on her locks, and also the shadows, and also the shirt folds as well. And as I'm further refining it, I will be using a marker so that I can also thicken up some of the areas in the shadows. For example, you'll notice in Peter Parker's pelvic area, in the legs, the muscles, that's where it's going to be heavily shadowed. And it really does give a great dynamic look, this comic book style, with just heavy dark outlines and heavy shadows. And for the bigger areas, I took my time with a marker part of the Micron Ink Pen set that I have to easily fill out those shadows. And as I take my time refining those outlines and making all of those adjustments that I need to and cleaning it up as much as I can, the following step will be the coloring process and blending everything together. Now for this one, because the inking is already done, everything is dried up, I have a bunch of color pencils, and this one, it was very easy. I kept it minimal, and nothing's going to be too crazy when it comes to rendering or making things look full 3D or anything like that. This one, I kept it purposely looking flat like a comic book, but I made sure to press really hard in some of the colors that you see here with the red, and left some of it middle without too much pressure. So if you can see right underneath the arms, the chest area, the neck, and underneath some of the fingers, I pressed it in really hard so that way it looks like it's a darker red because of the shadows that can appear as the light is hitting from the top. Same thing with the blue in Spider-Man's costume. I started with a light blue and then added some dark blue as well. And most of those shadows came in with the markers and the inking that I did before. So all I had to do was focus on the primary colors or the base colors. Same thing with Peter Parker's hair. I started with a little bit of yellow, added some browns, and my intention is to use a blending pencil to make everything blend together. Same thing with Kitty Pryde's hair. Started with a little bit of yellow, added some orange and some brown in between the part of her hair in the middle, and added a little bit of peach, pinks, and a little bit of oranges in their skin tones as well, and finished off with her purple pants and pink shirt. And yeah, I used this colorless blender because I wanted a soft look. And at the very end, I finished off with using a jelly roll pen just to kind of bring out some of those highlights in some areas that I wanted pure white highlights, like in the blue and some of the muscles with Peter Parker. Now, there are many different methods on how to blend color pencil. You can use lots of solvents and things like that, but I decided to use this colorless blender pencil. Makes it super easy. I wanted something smooth, and I just did the entire drawing. Anything and everywhere that I saw color, I just started blending everything. And you can see how it blends in the dark reds, the middle hues perfectly together to kind of have this seamless look, because I didn't want to have that white that's showing in between the pigment that you see there. And that will take some time. So just like when you're coloring, I made sure to blend in the direction of the body parts and just of the way that the muscles are moving, just to make sure that it also has a rounded look to both of the characters as well. But let me know what you think in the comment section below, and thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.